who's actually going to get the most out of a 5-piece storage cabinet system with a built-in workbench? Who should walk away and look for something else? And does the price make sense for the everyday buyer who just wants a tidy garage or a functional craft corner? Those are the questions that keep most of us up at night before we click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I first saw the Seville Classics UltraHD system, I pictured the kind of setup you see in a well-organized maker's studio: a sturdy work surface, a series of cabinets that slide together, and enough room for tools, bins, and even a laptop. The hesitation most people feel is whether they're buying a one-size-fits-all piece that will dominate the room, or a flexible system that actually adapts to their workflow. I dug into the dimensions, read the mounting instructions, and looked at a handful of real-world photos from people who've actually assembled it in their homes. The verdict? It works best when you have a dedicated space, say a garage, a basement workshop, or a large craft room, and you're ready to commit to a semi-permanent layout. Let's start with who should consider this system. If you're a DIY enthusiast who spends weekends building shelves, fixing bikes, or assembling furniture, the integrated workbench is a game changer. It gives you a solid, level surface without having to buy a separate table, and the surrounding cabinets keep your drill bits, sandpaper, and safety gear right at arm's reach. Hobbyists who need to sort small parts like model makers or electronics hobbyists will love the modular drawers and shelves that can be rearranged as projects evolve. Home office users who want a blend of storage and a standing desk can also make it work, especially if they have the room to spread out. On the flip side, this isn't the right pick for anyone living in a tight studio apartment or a renter who can't drill into the floor. The system's footprint is generous. Even the narrowest configuration still takes up a decent chunk of floor space. If you're looking for a portable storage solution you can roll around or a set of freestanding shelves you can tuck away, you'll be better off with smaller units. Likewise, if your primary need is just a few drawers for paperwork, you'll be overpaying for the workbench and the extra cabinets you'll never fill. One of the biggest practical strengths of the UltraHD line is its material choice. The cabinets are built from a high-density engineered wood that's been laminated with a moisture-resistant finish. In a garage that sees temperature swings and occasional spills, that finish holds up better than the cheap particle board you find in budget options. I've seen a couple of users post pictures of the system surviving a leak from an overturned bucket of paint, and the surface dried without warping. The doors use a simple yet sturdy hinge system that stays aligned even after repeated opening and closing, a small detail that can make a daily routine feel smoother. The workbench itself is worth a closer look. It's not just a slab of wood bolted on top. The top is a thick, steel-reinforced panel that can handle a hammer, a router, or a small table saw without sagging. For anyone who has tried to do precise work on a flimsy tabletop, the stability of this bench can actually improve the quality of your projects. The bench also includes a built-in power strip with outlets on the side, so you can plug in your tools without running extension cords across the floor. That convenience translates to less clutter and a safer workspace. However, there are a couple of hidden trade-offs. The mounting type requires you to anchor the base to the floor for maximum stability, which means you'll need a drill and some basic hardware skills. If you're not comfortable with that, you might end up with a wobbling unit that defeats the purpose of a solid workbench. The assembly isn't a weekend project for the faint-hearted either. The instructions are clear, but you'll be handling several large panels and aligning them perfectly, which can take a few hours if you're alone. Some reviewers have noted that the final step of tightening the bolts is where the system can feel a little loose if you don't double-check the torque. Another practical nuance is the door style. The cabinets come with hinged doors that open outward, which is great for quick access, but it also means you need clearance in front of the unit. If you have a wall or another piece of furniture directly behind the cabinets, you'll have to either push the doors open wider or leave a gap. In tight spaces, sliding doors would have been nicer, but the current design keeps the construction simple and the cost down. Care instructions are straightforward. A damp cloth and a mild cleaner keep the laminate looking fresh. You won't have to oil the wood or worry about rust on metal components, which is a relief for people who just want to set it up and move on.